Hello there, my name is Joseph Finn, and for my persuasive speech for my public speaking class, I will be talking to you about drugs. For as long as they've been around in the world, people have used different kinds of drugs available to us for various reasons. Some of these reasons can include pleasure, treatment, depression, rebellion, or simply coping with tragedy. I will be persuading about how drugs are defined, the types of drugs that are detrimental to our bodies, the reasons behind drug usage, the effects drugs have on us, and finally, how we can use alternative solutions to stop using the wrong kinds of drugs. Even though there are drugs out there that can be used to prevent disease and heal our bodies, drug usage is still one of the most crucial and important issues in today's society, and I hope to help bring people into a greater understanding for my topic of how drugs are very detrimental to our overall health. According to reliable sources, a drug can be defined as a chemical substance used in the treatment, cure, prevention, or diagnosis of a disease, or can be also used to otherwise enhance one's physical or mental well-being. Drugs are both stimulating and addicting, and determining how much of them we use, as well as the kinds of drugs that are safe for us, is the most important factor we should take into consideration. Drug overdose occurs when a person takes more than their prescribed dose of a particular drug. Illicit drugs can then be used in overdose amounts when a person's metabolism can't diminish the drug fast enough to avoid the unintended side effects. The causes of drug overdose can be either accidental or intentional, in which accidental overdoses result from either a young child or an adult with impaired mental abilities swallowing the wrong prescribed medication or the wrong overdose. Purposeful overdoses, on the other hand, are from more personal desires, such as getting high or harming oneself. While many drugs out there can be used for treatments for disease and illness, there are many dangerous drugs that are very harmful to our health and which people commonly misuse, and simply should just avoid at all costs. Some of the dangerous drugs out there include crystal meth, tobacco, heroin, cocaine, alcohol, and steroids. In an article by Alex Watt, scientists have done research on what the deadliest drug in the world is for us. As surprising as it may seem, the result came out to be alcohol, since research shows that 3.3 million deaths happen every year due to alcohol consumption. Also, the World Health Organization states that those deaths make up 5.9% of all annual deaths. This comes to a rate of 1 death every 10 seconds. Given these studies, we should come to the conclusion that we need to be more aware of how much alcohol we consume and avoid drinking a lot of liquor. It has been proven that tobacco usage is the leading cause of preventable illness and death in the United States. It causes many different cancers, chronic lung diseases such as emphysema and bronchitis, heart disease, and pregnancy-related problems. Some facts to note are that more than 16 million people in the world have at least one disease from smoking. Smokers usually die 13 to 14 years earlier than non-smokers do, and more than 20 million Americans have died because of smoking since the year 1964, including 2.5 million deaths resulting from exposure to secondhand smoking. A lot of people abuse drugs for a variety of different reasons, whether it be to cope with everyday stress or because it gives them pleasure or satisfaction. The top 10 reasons people abuse drugs, according to the Recovery Connection website, are that some drugs are legal now, people have a prescription from doctors, rebellion, feelings of emptiness, peer pressure, drugs make them feel really good, there is a greater availability, alcohol is not simply enough for them anymore, experimentation, and self-medication. Some people tend to see drugs as an answer to depression, anxiety, and mental illness that will help make them feel better about themselves. They believe that there is simply no other way to get better without drugs since the chemicals in them are soothing and relaxes their minds. Abusing drugs can have serious consequences to our bodies. Different drugs, because of their chemical structures, can affect the body in different ways. In fact, some drugs have the power to change a person's brain and body in ways that last long after a person stops taking the drugs, sometimes permanently. Drugs can enter our body through either injection, inhalation, and ingestion. The method of how they enter impacts how the drug affects the person. For example, injection takes the drug directly into the bloodstream with more immediate effects, while ingestion requires the drug to pass through the digestive system, which will delay the effects. Some of the effects from drug usage are injuries, health problems, effects on the brain that interferes with an individual's ability to make decisions, behavioral problems like paranoia or aggressiveness, and birth defects, which can cause a baby to be born either too small or too soon. Despite what people may believe, the usage of drugs is never the answer to pure happiness or gratification. There are a variety of healthier alternatives that can provide people the solution they need to feel better and live happier. Some ways to avoid drugs are solutions such as reaching out to family and friends for support, doing meaningful work you believe in for everyday life, going to therapy, exercising often, changing your eating diet, providing nutrients for your brain like vitamins and medication, and finally maintaining a good balance between anything that brings you peace and joy. As you can see, the problem of drug usage is one that has plagued our world for countless years and will probably continue for many to come. However, I hope I have given you a better perspective on the dangers and risks of misusing drugs and the impact it will have on your health. We as humans need to take better care of ourselves and focus on the drugs that are safer for us, as well as having a good maintenance on our usage for certain drugs like alcohol in order to prevent illness or disease. Drugs are never to be taken lightly, and now I hope you all finally realize just how powerful drugs really are, so that we will be able to live much more meaningful and happier lives. Thank you.